and your own limits. And we have lots of women on board, and it's important that these women get on those roles. So can I call Ms. Saira Khan on stage to receive her plaque? I know we all love networking. Saira? Is Saira around? Okay, maybe she's out there somewhere. In the meanwhile, I'll call Mr. Farhaz. Oh, Saira's here. Next, I'd like to call upon stage Mr. Faraz Khan to receive his memento. Faraz. And last, but not the least, Mr. Asim Siddiqui. Asim, can we have you on stage? Farooq Rahman was also the previous vice president of ICAP and a very active member at ICAP. Thank you, Farooq. Thank you, Asim. Thank you, everybody. Can we have everybody seated to move on to the next session? Can I call upon stage Ms. Hina Osmani, our dynamic first elected female council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan for the term 2017 to 2021. Unfortunately, we would like to recognize today Mr. Rahim Surya's services and contribution and his vision for forming the platform for CA Women's Committee. He was the one, I remember, who suggested to us that when he was the president, that we should form a platform and build some leadership skills for chartered accountants. Unfortunately, Rahim could not join us. So can I request Mr. Basrai to please collect the prize on behalf of Mr. Rahim Surya? Mr. Basrai? Mr. Basrai, can we request you to collect the prize for Mr. Rahim Surya? Rahim has been a patron of the CA Women's Committee, encouraging us to work and champion the cause for women. So can you please, Basrai Saab is also a very senior chartered accountant, previously the partner of KPMG, and we would like to give the token of appreciation for Mr. Rahim Surya to Mr. Basrai. Thank you, Basrai sir. Right. Today, you need to wait, no? Today, we also would like to recognize the service of our longest serving employee, Ms. Farhana Khatun, who joined ICAP in 1994 and is associated with ICAP for more than 24 years. She works at the ICAP City Library. And Ms. Farhana Khatun, can you please come on stage and take your memento and some gift hampers given by our sponsors, Unilever and National Foods. Congratulations, Ms. Farhana. Yeah, thank you, Ina. Can we have everybody seated, please? I'd request everybody to sit down. We will now have a table talk. Miss Sana Kadri will conduct a table talk with her team of specialists in different fields to dwell upon the opportunity for entrepreneurs and the challenges faced by them. The team comprises of Miss Farah Isa, Mr. Shahjahan Chaudhry, and Mr. Najam Ali. Sana is a very capable and seasoned chartered accountant for the past 8 years, working in the financial sector industry, and has held several positions as CFO and company secretary. She's currently handling the financial reporting at Telenor Microfinance Bank. At ICAP, she's an active member of the Committee of Fiscal Laws and Women's Committee. She's also a member of Dastak Society, which works with organizations that provide free education for children and give mental health counseling to youth. Can we please have our panel on stage? Sana? Okay.
Thank you, Khushid. Many of us have been working for quite some time now. As someone who has always been employed, I feel that at least once in your life you have this question, what am I doing working for someone else? Why shouldn't I do something of my own, do my own thing? But turning one's business idea into a reality is not an easy task. Thankfully, we have some very successful entrepreneurs with us, whom I'll be asking some very relevant questions, and I hope that helps us in deciding when we have that burning question in us, and whether we have found our calling or not. So we have with us Ms. Farah Isa, Dr. Farah Isa. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Dr. Farah Isa is an accomplished leader, radiologist, and educator, also internationally representing Pakistan as a singer. She is the regional head of Karachi and director radiology of ISA Labs. She is also the founder of ISA Health Academy. She is also the Rotary Chair of Maternal Health and Wellness, and received the Canadian Health Achievement Awards, as well as the Best Faculty Award in the University of Toronto and Princess Nora University. We have with us Mr. Najam Ali. He has over 23 years of rich experience working in different capacities in Pakistan's capital markets. He was the founding CEO of the Central Depository Company of Pakistan, and also led the development and implementation of the National Clearing and Settlement System. He has served on the boards of Pakistan Oil Fields, MOFAP as the chair, the Karachi Stock Exchange, now PSX, the National Clearing Company of Pakistan, and Askari Bank Limited. Mr. Najam Ali is a member of ICAEW, an Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ontario, Canada, and a qualified certified public accountant, USA. He is currently the CEO of Next Capital Limited and a member of the Corporate Leaders Advisory Board of IBA. We also have Mr. Shahjahan Chaudhry. He is a tech entrepreneur and the current director of National Incubation Center Karachi, a public-private partnership funded by MOIT and managed by a consortium of LMKT, HBL, PTCL, PPAF, and NED University. He has previously been on the board of PASHA, Pakistan Software Houses Association, and Peach Niche, T2F. He is deeply interested in the interaction of technology, policy, and entrepreneurship to uplift the bottom 100 million of Pakistan. My first question to you, Mr. Najam Ali. You are a chartered accountant yourself, but at the peak of your career, when you were making good living as the CEO of JS Investments, you took that risk and opened up your own company. I want to ask you, what are the key lessons from your journey? And not everyone has this convenience of taking such huge risks. What is your one advice for the young professionals, especially women who don't have the liberty to decide to make such big decisions?
Thank you, Sana. Thank you very much for inviting me. First of all, I don't know whether I would like myself to be categorized as an entrepreneur. I think you should qualify me as a struggling entrepreneur. I have yet to establish a very, very successful business with other people have. But, the journey, I don't think it ever ends. It just continues. And you strive for excellence at every stage of the journey. But I think the most important lesson that I have learned when I started the idea came. First of all, how much time do I have?
No, you can
Okay.
say it, whatever.
I was attending the advanced management program at Harvard Business School. This was in 2009, and this was the last day of our program. It's an 8-week program, and they summarized the entire 8 weeks, each professor, and there was this strategy professor. He summarized his lectures, and there was this last slide that he showed us. And the gist of the slide was that if you have not taken any risk in your life, you have not done anything. And that really struck me, that have I taken any risks in my life? Well, I did, in terms of my own career, but not of the kind which is required for being an entrepreneur, because you have to really come out of your comfort zone. You have to sacrifice quite a lot in terms of your family time, in terms of your certain other risks that you take. There are 3-4 key risks that you take when you make these decisions. The first risk that you take is that you're not assured of your paycheck. That has been, that becomes an addiction for people who remain employed during the most part of their life. Then the other risks that you take is you put your family and the entire circle of friends through a lot of stress, because you start to struggle. You don't have an established business like the one, if you're employed. And I was very fortunate, when I left JS Investments, it was the largest asset management company in Pakistan, and I was really fortunate to had that organization. So in order to come out of that comfort, that where you get a very hefty paycheck, it's not easy. But what is at stake? You realize at the end of the day that I think the most satisfying thing in being an entrepreneur is that you become self-accountable. Most of your life when you're employed, you are accountable to others. You're hardly ever accountable to your own self. And that's a huge difference when you are self-accountable. I remember when I started raising capital for my company, I thought my real test will be if I'm able to successfully raise capital for this venture that I had in mind. That was to establish a financial services firm in Pakistan. So I decided to go to 2 people that I personally had a lot of regard for, 2 really big icons of Pakistan's market. One was Mr. Arif Habib, and the other was Mr. Mia Mohammad Mansha, who heads the MCB group. And I said to myself that if I am successful in raising capital from these 2 people, that should give me a lot of confidence that they really trust me with their money. Although the money was not really a lot, but just to get their confidence. I remember going to both of them, and they really encouraged me. Both of them really encouraged me to do this business. And that instilled a lot of confidence in me that if these people who are extremely successful in their own businesses, in fact, they said you will be hugely successful. Even my employer told me, previous employer told me that you will be hugely successful when you go out there. However, the journey was, you don't plan for a lot of things when you start. You have, sometimes you miscalculate, you misjudge. I started in 2011. And the last 8 or 9 years have not been very good for Pakistan in many respects, in terms of economic stability, in terms of political stability. In fact, Pakistan has done, in terms of economic performance, there is a lot to be desired. during the 9 years. But I have now been able to establish, I think I can safely say that the company that I manage is among the top few financial services firms in Pakistan. May not be financially as successful as I thought it would be, but enough to be considered among the top few financial services firms of Pakistan. The key lesson, the couple of, first of all, you know, this is a cliched conclusion that you should never lose hope. And that's true. You know, if I look at the current Pakistan, there is a lot of despair, there's a lot of negativity. But, you know, the journey should continue and you should enjoy that. Even the rough journey should be enjoyed. And if there are 2-3 ingredients in being a good entrepreneur. First of all, you should really plan well, both in terms of your business planning and in terms of your financial resources. A lot of people I've seen, I'm really negotiating to buy a company these days, and I looked at their failure and I realized that, you know, these people did not plan well in terms of their own financial resources, and somehow they were good people otherwise. So you have to really plan well in terms of your financial resources, in terms of your business. And then you should be prepared for the worst. I don't think when people start business, they don't actually anticipate the hostile environment that they might face. So you should be ready for any kind of hostility that you may come across, whether it's in terms of financial crunch, in terms of hostile business environment, or in terms of your family pressures, you know, when you're not doing well. But the idea is to persist and be honest with yourself and keep working hard. That's the lesson that I've learned.
So the lesson would be, if you have to take risk, you have to take risk. And if you have your family and your friends support, then obviously it encourages you and gives the support that you need. So my next question to Dr. Farah Issa. You've served at various organizations internationally before you came back home and started your family business. My personal question from you, a woman to woman, as a leader, what are the specific challenges that you see, you think that are part and parcel of being a woman?
Thank you so much, Sana, for calling me, and especially thanks to Muniza Bhatt and Saira Jamal for inviting me over to the prestigious Chartered Accountants Club. As I've moved from Toronto to Saudi Arabia and to Karachi, I have encountered various different things in different organizations that I've served in pertaining to that society's culture and their beliefs, of course. In Toronto, I would go back to the year 2000, the millennial, when I started my career in Toronto, looking for a residency, a fresh new graduate out of Dow Medical College, and newly married also. And